One of the things that I've been fascinated about is the inflection that we are currently seeing in the marketplace. Growth rates are slowing, new and different varieties of service providers are gaining traction. And being an analyst, one of the things I really like to do is go back in time, look at history and see what it has to offer us. So we are at this inflection point in this industry where the market is moving away from what we call the arbitrage first value proposition to more of a digital first value proposition. I talked a bit about history. If you trace back the evolution of the services marketplace, right up from the mid 80s to say the early 2000s, we had what we were calling the operations excellence service era. You can see a bit of the providers that were really dominating in that space on the chart in front of you. Subsequently, we moved to the labor arb or labor arbitrage oriented service era, and that's where we currently have a lot of the India heritage providers dominating. We are now at a point where we are moving to what let's just call it the digital service era. Don't yet know who's going to dominate this space. But one thing that I can say, thinking about history, is that there's some really interesting lessons in this for us, right? If you look at some of the logos from the operations excellence service era, you probably would realize that you don't recognize quite a few of them, and that's simply because most of them don't exist in the current shape and form. We've seen significant consolidation happen. For example, ACS got acquired by Xerox, got spun off into Conduent, and Atos bought the IT services portfolio. Piro Systems got acquired by Dell Services, got acquired by NTT Data. EDS got acquired by HP. HP spun off that particular business to CSC, which rebranded itself as DXC. So all in all, it's heartening to see that all of this has happened before, and what's going to happen now is essentially what happened to the operations excellence service era. So as we think about this new S-curve that we are transitioning into, which is the digital S-curve, there's probably three broad takeaways that we should have in mind. One, companies don't transition from one service era to another naturally. We just had, say, an IBM transition from the Ops Excellence service era to the labor arbitrage service era. And now we don't really know if IBM is going to be able to make that transition to the next service era. So success in service era 1 doesn't necessarily translate into success in service era 2. So that's an important lesson. Lesson number 2, consolidation is inevitable. What we saw in the Ops Excellence service era is now going to start happening in the labor arbitrage service era. And it wouldn't surprise me if 2 or 3 of the logos in the middle pack don't exist 3 years from now. And finally, these transitions really take a long while to play out. So while there's a sense of panic and gloom in the marketplace, let's recognize that the operations excellence service era is still roughly a $200 billion market. So there is yet hope in that legacy labor arb business. Indeed, exceptionally exciting times, and you can keep tracking Everest Group's research to understand how these dynamics play out in the future.